My talk is about another disease bigger than cancer, much, much bigger than cancer. It's actually probably the biggest disease in the world. And you don't know anything about it, actually. It's a widespread disease, it's chronic. We all suffer from it probably, but we don't know about it. And I'm going to give you a few clues and ask you to think about what that disease could be that I don't know, which is the world's biggest disease. So here are a few clues. It's been there for about 200 years. 200 years we've been suffering from it. Close to 3 billion people suffer from this disease. 3 billion people. How big is that? It kind of comes in when you're about 22 and stays with you till you turn 60 or 62 or 65. 40 years of suffering from this particular disease. Now, it's not sexually transmitted, but it is psychologically transmitted from one individual to the other in close proximity. It's gone completely untreated. So in fact, it's got worse as time has gone by. It's got completely untreated so far, no prevention, no cure. And if it's not treated now, in the next decade or so, will probably cause the doom of humanity. I mean, that's as big as it is. Now, what could that disease be? Depression, okay. Lethargy, interesting. Okay, I'm going to make it even more complex for you. Here are a few symptoms of that disease. It creates a bit of numbness, especially 2 days every week. It creates a lot of anxiety in that person. It creates, in some cases, creates faster heart rate. Rashes in extreme cases. Now, here's the most prominent symptom of them all. It creates a sense of dis-ease on a Sunday post-lunch. The disease is called Monday. That is the disease. It's probably the biggest disease. Monday equals suffering. And you know, we live through the suffering for 5 days, and till on Friday it gets so suffocating that we have to sort of invoke the God saying, thank God it's Friday. You know, and then there's a restaurant chain linked based on this sort of gospel. Now, the other day I was in a taxi and this taxi driver said on a Thursday evening, he said, oh sir, you must be very happy. It's Friday Eve. Yeah, so it's not just about thank God it's Friday, it's thank God it's Friday Eve. So that's how big this disease is called Monday. We can't face Mondays anymore. And there's a huge cost of Monday. For the person who's suffering from it, there's depression, there's alcoholism, there's loss of self-esteem, huge loss of confidence. We kind of feel empty inside. You know, it's not a thorn in the flesh, it's actually emptiness. And psychology has a word for it called NUGENIC neurosis, kind of existential frustration. The funny thing is, people who actually cause it are the sufferers of it the most, and they are the businesses. And if given a choice, 87% people won't come to work at all. Given a choice, Gallup survey of 142 countries told us this. That's how disengaged they are from their work on a Monday. These are the batteries which are supposed to run our economy, and they're discharged. Now, what is the cost of this discharged, Monday-fied workforce economy? Estimates tell us, the Human Capital Institute tells us that just the American economy loses $350 billion a year on loss of productivity because of disengaged workforce. That's how big the loss is only for the US. Now you can add up for the rest of the world and you know what the size of that loss is, cost of Monday is. Yet what are organizations doing about it? What are they doing to solve? They are the creators of the Monday problem. What are you doing to solve the Monday problem? For all these 3 billion people who walk into offices to work, nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. And that's the sad part of the story. But for you to solve the problem, you must find the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is this. There's a loss of meaning and purpose in life. You know, we have somewhere transitioned from a machine economy, from an industrial economy to a human economy. And we have not recognized the shift in the workforce. We still refer to them as unit of labor, whereas actually they are a unit of emotion now. They are a unit of meaning. They are a unit of sentiment now. And we need to recognize that shift. And the future is only going to be more human. As there's more artificial intelligence, as there's more automation, you will become more human. You will search for your humanness more every day. You will search for that element of meaning in your life. And in that human economy, meaning is in the hierarchy of the pyramid, meaning is the topmost need of the human economy. It's not me talking about it. Dan Ariely, who does a lot of work in the area of motivation and labor, he recognizes it, saying experiment after experiment, he sees that when you create meaning at work, people are motivated. People want to come to work. Is there a cure for this disease called Monday? Yes, there is. And actually, this guy found a cure for it close to 65 years back. His name is Viktor Frankl, and he wrote a book, very famous book called Man's Search for Meaning. And the cure was very interesting. He was stuck in a concentration camp, Jewish concentration camp, and he said, the stimulus of torture being the same, how come some people give up and some people don't? Same torture. Some people give up, some inmates give up, some people don't. And why does that happen? And he discovered the power of storytelling, because they live up to the story. They said, this is nothing in contrast to that I'm living for. Whether that's a mythical story of love, something they want to do in the future, they want to change the world. That story changes the way they live that life. And storytelling, and we are in the concentration camp called a cubicle these days. This is a new concentration camp. And we have to tell ourselves stories to find meaning in our workplaces. Now, I encourage organizations to get into storytelling, because through stories you'll find meaning and you'll find purpose. And there are two different kinds of storytelling that happens there. The first one is, who am I? That's one kind of story that is spoken about. What am I doing here? What am I passionate about? What is the essence of myself? What gets me happy? What gets me sad? All of that is the who am I question. The other is the purpose question, saying, why are we here? What am I building here? Am I building, that's famous story where saying, I'm a bricklayer, am I building a brick or am I building a cathedral? Is that, what do I wake up to every morning? There is a Japanese word called the ikigai. Ikigai translates into a long phrase, says, what do you wake up to every morning? What is your ikigai? Are you there to earn money or are you to change the world? And so that's the story of purpose. And organizations, when employees walk in, they should engage them in storytelling, in the space of meaning and in the story of purpose. Now, we have left some cards on your chairs. If you take a card that says, my autobiography, pick up that card. And I'm going to talk to you about how storytelling happens in the meaning space. Take a pen if you have one and says, if you could write your autobiography right now, if you could write your autobiography, what would be the title of the autobiography? What would you name it? Who would you dedicate it to? Doesn't come easy, does it? Because we are not used to storytelling. We don't introspect. We don't tell stories to ourselves. Think about it. Very important question. It's not a stupid question. If your life is your business, what's this mission statement? We keep writing mission statements for our offices, right? For our brands. What is your mission statement of life? Write it in one sentence. Now flip the card. I want you to flip the card. If I were to lock you up in a room called your happiness room, if I could lock you up for a year, you are there, but the room promises to offer you happiness, and you are allowed 6 objects inside. What objects would you put in your happiness room? You can't take in your TV or your internet. You are supposed to take 6 objects. What would you carry? Think about it. You can't leave the room for a year. There's a lot of interesting things. I would take my Bible. I would take my music iPod. I'll keep a little plant there. I'll keep my guitar there. I'll keep the picture of my family there. You know, a lot of people say beautiful things which make them happy. Now, here's a question. If an organization knows what your stories are, your workplace can be a happiness room. You can create that atmosphere of happiness in your workplace. That's how meaning gets created in workplaces. That's how Monday problems are solved. Now, if you move to the other card, you could write your company's epitaph saying, what did my company leave behind? Now, if you were to make your CEO, or if you are the CEO of your company, if you could write this. Now, you are all CEOs of your company. It's called me.com. You are the CEOs of your company. So what would you leave behind? Think about it. Now that's storytelling on purpose. If you flip to the other card, saying, here's a lottery that my business has won. Usually they win lottery. So if you win a lottery of $100 million, you are forced to spend it in one day to make the world a better place. Where would your organization spend that money? In what cause? And I'm not talking about corporate social responsibility here, where it's, put a fraction of your money to make someone's life better, but I'm talking about serious investment in making the world a better place. Where would your organization put that money? Now that's storytelling on purpose. Now, if an organization engages with you in this kind of storytelling, who are you? What are you doing here? Where are we going together? What do you want to build in your life? I mean, can I show you the big picture? Then that storytelling will create meaning and you create purpose in your life. It requires introspection, thinking. It's not complicated at all, like I showed you. It's just a little conversation that goes on between the employee and the organization, and the employee himself or herself. So if we get into the simple act of storytelling with organizations, with ourselves, we will probably start finding meaning and purpose. With that, we will hopefully find a little motivation in ourselves, and with that, hopefully, we will wake up on a Monday morning and say, thank God, it's Monday. Thank you so much.